saying we can't find 5,000 in there from that prepaid, pre-bought materials for next year.
No.
It's 5,000 a year, right, per month for 20?
No, and I can't answer that, Mike, because it's a service.
Yeah.
The answer to your question is yes. You could authorize whatever we're gonna call it, unencumbered monies, to be used to purchase a video camera. Yes, you could. Because this is a service, the other part is a service that will be actually delivered in the next fiscal year. You can't use this year's money for next year's service.
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
you
I wasn't talking about using this year's money. I meant when you did the supplies, pre-buy the supplies, how was the budget adjusted for next year? But you answered that, I guess. There's no extra money in that budget, next year's budget.
Although, Mike, I want to answer them fully though. You could authorize whatever $4,220 is times 12.
$5,040.
$5,100.
You could authorize an additional pre-purchasing out of unencumbered funds and then free it up in next year's budget. But it all comes to hit you in the face the year after.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I'm saying?
Right,
There is a
right.
day of reckoning.
I'm not in favor of that. Yeah.
I don't think we can do that, because I don't think we should be pre-buying with the intention to pay for a service for next year when we're not really aren't supposed to pay for that service out of this year's money. I wouldn't be comfortable with that, because the intent would be to pay for the service out of this year's money. So I wouldn't be comfortable with doing it that way at all.
You can't prepay a service?
No.
I'm just asking.
Not across fiscal years.
So we're at a point now, we're in discussion on the amendment to the motion.
For the $1,000 amendment.
Right.
For the $1,000 camera.
Yeah, there was a second, we're in discussion on it. At this point, I'll say all in favor of approving the amendment to the motion. Would you like to, it's just to buy not to exceed $1,000 to begin with.
Right.
All in favor of that motion signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed.
Opposed.
I'd like to amend the motion to take the video camera out of the motion and purchase only the system subscription.
Can I just make a point? The superintendent said there's not a surplus from the sheet available.
Well, hang on a minute. No, we voted down the amendment. So we're back to the
We
original
voted in
motion.
favor of the amendment. It was 3-2.
I'm sorry, we voted for, I apologize. We voted for the amendment, 3-2. So now we've got an amended motion. I just want to make sure.
If I get a second, I'll explain what I'm doing. I know
Okay.
it seems counter to what we just voted on, but if I get a second, I will explain.
I'll do a second for discussion.
I'm trying to bring the price down so that we can start the service. I think that we could borrow a camera from the school. I agree with Dr. Littlefield, it's better to have a dedicated camera, but frankly, I don't want to see the service go down and not be purchased if it's dependent on a camera. I may be willing to donate a camera that can be used myself. I don't want to go on a limb right now, but the school board meetings being at night and the school being during the day, I think, you know, we can work it out. I just don't want to see it go down because we're putting an extra $1,000 of burden in the price tag right now. So that's why I'm making this.
Any more discussion?
But I think if we're gonna do this and pay for this service, we should have a camera. And if we can buy the camera off this year's budget, and there seems to be money to be found in this year's budget, then we should buy the camera now. We're gonna need it eventually. I mean, if we have one donated to us or something, then we can not do the purchase, you know, but I think we gotta,
This motion is not for purchasing.
yeah, because we added that to it, didn't we?
Okay, all right.
For 1,000, or up to 1,000.
That's right, for 1,000,
So if we vote yes for the motion, then we're going to buy a camera, but that would be out of this year's budget, right? We could buy that camera off of this year's budget, last year's fiscal. So,
Yes,
I'm sorry.
you're right.
I'm just making the motion because it was my perception that the vote might do better without the camera involved. And I am at this point trying to save the video system. So I am willing to spend the $1,000 out of this year's budget, even though I don't really want to, but I'm also willing to do without it. That's going to make this motion pass.
I'm still really concerned about the $420 or whatever it is each month. We did not budget for it, we did not budget for it for next year. Maybe there's other ways to get it up on the web until we can budget it in. But I just don't think, and I think we do have still a lack of a plan. So, until then, I think we're rushing this.
I'll point out that we purchase things without plans quite often, and there's reasons for that because plans can develop. I'm willing to volunteer and to help out, and I'm confident, and we could ask maybe our principals if they think that we can get some students to help with this, or technology director, but I'm confident in having worked with students before that this will not be a difficult task to do. So I'm okay with developing a plan as we go. I don't think this is the plan is going to be the big problem here. I think the biggest problem we face is $420 a month for next year's budget. So do we take that risk or not?
Please.
And that's my concern. I think there are other ways to get the video out to the public if we wanted to, other than spending the $420 a month until we can budget it.
Okay, but first we need to talk about the amendment, right, which is
Yeah,
to take the 1,000, take the video camera out of it.
Right.
Yeah, you'll have to forgive me, I hate to make excuses, but I'm up since 2:30. We have another amendment to this motion.
Do you mind us if we amend it?
To take the video camera purchase out of the amendment and to only purchase the service for $420 a month.
So that's got an amendment, we've got a second, we've had discussion. All in favor of approving the amendment to the motion, signify by saying aye.
No, I'm not voting for it.
Okay, I just,
There's no support, so I'll vote for it if you want me to. but it
Okay.
doesn't matter.
so the amendment
Fails.
fails. But we have the original motion with an amendment.
No. Yes.
Yes.
Yes, with an amendment, that's
For
what I mean.
$1,000.
But with $1,000, so. All in favor of approving the motion, the amended motion, which is the $420 a month plus the $1,000.
We have one more discussion before we go. Well, yeah, Cheryl had asked a question, and I was planning on answering, but I wanted to wait until the amendment cleared the table. So
Yep,
this
go
is
ahead.
about the original motion.
So this is
and
discussion on the amended
motion. Yes.
motion.
Yes, and you were talking about, is there other ways to bring this up to the web? And I can offer a little information on that, because I do that every meeting that we have, and it can be done. You can utilize YouTube for free. The problem comes back more to what Dr. Littlefield was saying of logistics of who's going to do that, because when you do that, you've got to dice the meeting up into 15-minute segments, and then you've got to upload them one at a time. So there is considerable amount of work that goes into that, versus the system, which would just stream it up there, and it appears with the date, and you just give it a title. So, yes, the free option is there, but it would require more support to pull that off on a consistent basis. So that was one of the reasons. I'm usually the person that votes for the free option, but in this situation, I could see a point where it doesn't get done. You know, because that part of it is not the fun part of it that I think kids would want to get into, or come in here and run the camera, run the equipment. It's the part where you got to sit down and wait for it, and somebody's got to do it. So just wanted to offer that before we voted. Thank you.
Okay. Anyone else? All in favor of approving the amended motion for again $420 per month with the $1,000, not to exceed the $1,000 purchase for the camera? Signify by saying aye.
Aye.
Opposed?
Opposed?
Nay. 3-2. In favor? I'm sorry?
You just
Oh.
review it so that everybody knows. It got a little confusing when you done this.
Yeah, we approved the, was it Granicus? The, to utilize the, let's say, the Granicus service for $420 per month, and to purchase or not to exceed $1,000 for the purchase of a video camera. And I would say that there needs to be a plan put in place, obviously. I would assume you would formulate a plan for utilizing that equipment.
Hopefully whatever you tell me to do.
I'd be
Yeah,
glad
well-
to do it, no problem. If they want to contact me when it comes in, I'd be glad to give my services. It's something I'm very familiar with, and frankly, if we get it up and running, it'll be less work for me, because I'm currently recording the meetings in the cheat method, so I'd be more than happy. I would ask for some help if we could get some student committee, because I would look forward to working with some students on that, so.
I'd be willing to help take it down, help setting it up would be difficult for me to get here early.
I'd be glad to show you how.
What?
Oh, okay.
I'd be
Thank
willing
you,
to
Laura.
help take it
Sure.
down at the end of the meeting as opposed to setting up.
Thanks. The other thing that, Tricia, if I could put it out there, it would be helpful too if someone wanted to volunteer to go online a couple of days after and point out the agenda items. Basically, you just look through the video and say, that's where we talked about this, because that allows people to go online and say they're interested in AYP. They click it and the video goes right to that spot, so
Okay.
that's another thing that someone
You
might be
could
able to
put
help
that
with.
out there, that we're looking for volunteers for that.
Thank you.
Okay,